In 2024 and 2025, Bayern have been a shell of their former self, and their players have not been performing to the standards of the old players, such as your Robins, Ribery's, Lewandowski's, Muller in his prime, and past players. And the squad has taken a fall from grace since that 2010s decade. And today, we're going to go over that squad. Bayern Buddies here, the best Bayern duo on the internet, coming to you. Unfortunately, today, it's just going to be me. Pat picked up a little bit of an ACL tear. He's out. He's getting his scans done right now. But hopefully, it's not too bad, the injury, and he'll be back within a couple weeks. But yeah, today we're going to be doing a tier list of Bayern Munich's squad so far this season. I'm not going to be doing all the players, but if you want to see more players, just let me know, subscribe, comment, and let me know if you want me to expand it to more players. But yeah, with that, we're going to get into it, the tier list for Bayern's players, Bayern's squad for this 2024-25 season. Let's get it. The first player I'm going to get into is a controversial one, is one that a lot of fans are 50-50 about. Some people hate him, some people's back him, but I'm definitely one of the haters, and it is Upamecano. I mean, he came to Bayern Munich, was paid a hefty fee for him, expected a lot from him coming from Leipzig, doing well against us, but so far he hasn't really shown too much quality in the big games. I remember a lot of his errors. He has a lot of errors leading to penalties, to goals, and yeah, the real game that stands out to me is his game against Man City in the Champions League quarterfinal, I believe. A lot of the goals were his fault. While it was a terrible performance, one of our worst performances in a while, that was a game that stood out to me. And so far, Upamecano, I mean, this season, especially recently, he has picked up his form. I can't lie. Even as a hater, he still has some mistakes, and I think maybe that'll never leave his game. Just, I don't know, the mistake factor, which is a problem for Bayern since our defense already isn't the best. But I have to be fair. I have to give him the opportunity, and he has improved a lot this season. Maybe he'll play the same way he does for France, because I don't know what France does to him or what system he plays for in France, but he has so much more confidence. He's such a better player when he plays for his national team, but when it comes to Bayern, he just likes to shit the bed. This may be a surprise if you know me, if you know how much I talk shit about Upamecano, but I'm gonna put him in the good tier. I just think he's a lot better than some of the other players we had. We've seen Ito make a debut recently. It went really bad, even though he's coming off an injury, but Upamecano, gotta stick him in good. He's like one of our only defenders that I feel okay with, I guess, at this point. I don't even know. But Eric Dyer's still better. Let's get to the next player. Let's dive into Harry Kane's season so far at Bayern Munich. I mean, one of our most expensive signings, if not the most expensive signing, I believe, for Bayern Munich, especially recently. And yeah, I mean, Harry Kane, we all expected him to be Lewandowski's replacement naturally. I don't think he's reached the levels, of course, that Lewandowski did at Bayern. I mean, I don't think Harry Kane will ever reach the levels that Lewandowski reached at Bayern or in his career in general. But we needed a striker, we needed a replacement, and this is what the board cooked up. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan. We can't be greedy. Harry Kane, he's still obviously one of the top players in the world, and he's at our club. But let's dive into it. I mean, this season, obviously the casuals, I think they'll give him a lot of praise. They'll sing for him. They'll just like kind of glaze him. I've come on here and said that he's a very big penalty merchant this season. I mean, the stats aren't helping him. So in the Bundesliga this season, he has 21 goals, 6 assists. I mean, that's great stats, but when you look into it, 9 of those 21 goals are actually penalties. Sure, you get penalties, you score them, but I think if Harry Kane was really playing to his max potential when he was at Spurs, he would have 30 goals at this point. He would be having more assists. I think our wingers can't finish, sure, I'll give you that, but Harry Kane, he should have more goals, I think, outside of penalties for sure. I mean, without penalties this season, he would only have 12 goals. So, I mean, if we had another penalty taker, if Muller was still taking penalties for those who you remember, for Bayern, if someone else was taking penalties for Bayern, it wouldn't be looking good for him. That's all I'm saying. And then the Champions League this season, he has 7 goals, 1 assist in the Champions League for us, which isn't bad, but when you think about it, 4 of those goals came against Dynamo Zagreb. So, I mean, also 3 of those were penalties that game. If you think about it like that, that's not that great for him. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Harry Kane could play a lot better for us. I'll put Harry Kane in the top tier, but he could do a lot better. The next player for the tier list is Manuel Neuer, another controversial one this season. There's been a lot of conversation in Bayern Twitter about how he's fallen off, how it's time to move on, give a new goalkeeper a chance, a youngster maybe, because Neuer has not been the same this season. I mean, a lot of the shots, especially at the beginning of the season, the start of the season, he just let in every shot that basically came at him. Doesn't make much saves anymore, doesn't have those spectacular moments anymore, but there has been a little bit of a turnaround as of the past couple weeks, I think. So, I don't know. It is shaky. Maybe he's found himself again. I mean, he has gone through a bunch of injuries throughout the year. He is getting up there in age, almost 40 now. I mean, I do agree that it is definitely time to move on, and we've been holding on to Neuer. Not scared to move on, but don't really have any plan in place. As we've seen, we've signed multiple young goalies in the past, put them out on loan, but they've never been able to break through. And I think really Neuer needs to drop his ego, and I think it's time for him to kind of, move on. But in terms of how he's been playing this season, definitely below average. average, definitely for his standards, below his standards. And even though he's been doing a little better these past couple weeks, that doesn't change the fact about what he's done. And also got his first red card this season. So, I mean, that just goes to show how he's been performing this season. Neuer, I hate to do it. Grew up watching him. Best goalkeeper of all time in my opinion. But this season, he just does not have it. And I'm going to put him in mid. Next, let's get into our Pookie Bear, our wonder boy, Musiala. I mean, his season, he just got his new contract. So we're all expecting more from him now. But he still is a young player. So I can't critique him too harshly. But one of the best youngsters in the world at the moment. And I think so far this season, he has proven to take a step up. I think he's played a much more critical role this season. But I don't know if he's really reached that level where his goals and assists are contributing enough, especially when we see him in big games. This season, he has 10 goals, 2 assists, which that's great. I mean, he is doing really well. I thought that assist number would be higher, but I can't blame him because a lot of people he's assisting can't even finish their chances. So I'm not even going to critique him about that, even though I did critique Harry Kane about that. But it's my tier list. I'll do what I want. And in the Champions League for us, he has 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 goal contributions. Decent, but I mean, he does a lot more than that out of that defensive block and transition us into the attack smoothly and quickly. I mean, he's the best player at turning your man, taking on a guy, and bringing it out wide. I mean, he's just insane at that. And then in the final third, his attacking qualities as well. Very complete midfielder. Other than the defending, an amazing midfielder for us. I think he has to be the MVP of the season. I'm gonna put him at the top tier for us. I don't really have much more to say. I mean, sure, in big games, he might disappear a little bit. He might not be our best player in some of our big games, but he's young, and I think he'll grow into himself well. MVP for him, Musiala. Now let's talk about another polarizing figure in the Bayern room. I mean, Leroy Sane. He's getting up there in age. I believe he's 28, 29 now. Kind of falling off for Bayern. I mean, he makes a difference when he plays. I can see it on the pitch when he's feeling it, when it's his day, but most of the days it's not his day, and right now it's not looking good for him. He only has 1 goal in the Champions League, no assist. And then the Bundesliga, a bit better, 6 goals, 2 assists, but not the production we need when we have Harry Kane playing drop back striker. When Harry Kane is your striker, you should have more goal contributions, and you should be doing better because he provides much more assisting than Lewandowski ever did. So yeah, Sane, I think his time at Bayern is over. Musiala does want him to stay, and they're good friends, so he probably will get another contract, but there's no chance we keep paying him the same, and it's just been really unfortunate to see what Sane has done, as we talked about in one of our videos. Go check that out about Sane's career. But yeah, I don't know, he doesn't have it in him anymore. And even away from the stats, his dribbling isn't there anymore, his flair isn't there anymore. It's GG's for him. It's wraps. I want to put him in the flop tier, I'm not gonna lie, just because he did flop at Bayern, I would say overall, but I'll put him in mid just because, I mean, what other competition is there really other than maybe one winger? A couple more players to go, not too many. Second to last player, Olise. I mean, new signing for Bayern Munich. I think it's been wonderful to see him play this year. Another young winger that'll grow with the likes of Musiala, Pavlovic, and really form that new core at Bayern Munich. In the Bundesliga, his first season there, 6 goals, 7 assists. Love to see it from him. I mean, he's having a good season, I would say, at Bayern. Not an amazing season, but I think the squad is holding him back a little bit. So yeah, he's doing good. Probably our best winger, has to be the best winger this year. And yeah, I mean, coming in on that right side, I would like to see him try it out on the left side, but I think he is more comfortable on the right. But I think it'd be cool to try out with an experiment. But yeah, I mean, just cutting in on that left foot, he's always a danger there, much more dangerous than any of our other wingers. I think that helps us create a lot more space and creativity in the attack, a lot more fluidity with him in the attack, of course. I think he just needs to build a little more chemistry with the likes of Musiala, Harry Kane, and other players. And I think maybe by next season, hopefully, they have enough chemistry where, you know, it looks a little more pretty, I would say, how we play. Company works that out, that little trio right there, and I think that'll be great. And in the Champions League, he has 5 goals, 1 assist, scored a banger against Celtic the other day. If he could keep doing that, I mean, he'll be with Bayern forever. And yeah, Olise, I'm really impressed so far with him this season. I hope he can keep growing, keep doing better with us. Hopefully, doesn't become injury prone like a lot of our wingers have. And yeah, Olise, I'll put Olise in the top tier with Harry Kane. The last player for this tier list, Joshua Kimmich. I mean, Joshua Kimmich, what a player he is for Bayern Munich. We've all seen him grow up there, start off young there, and I mean, he's been coached by the best of them, and it goes to show. I mean, in the midfield, he's one of the best. He's one of the best commanders and leaders of the midfield. I mean, Madrid want to sign him, but we can't let him do that. But yeah, he's become very comfortable playing at Bayern Munich. While I think he still would do a better job at fullback, the reality is he's not going to move there, and we got to accept that he's just going to stay in midfield. And I think he's been doing a good job this season. I think he's had better seasons with us, especially when we won the Champions League at right back, as we keep saying. He is better at right back. I think he's doing good. He's doing his job. He's keeping our midfield stable, teaching Pavlovic, the youngster, how to do his job. job and what he needs to be doing. His hitting UG status a little bit, but you know, he's having a solid season, I would say. Nothing spectacular, not a bad season as we've seen him have in the past, but a solid season, I would say, all around from Kimmich. I don't know who we would be playing with if it wasn't for him majority of the time in the midfield. I mean, Pavlovic and him, it's great to have them with Musiala in the front, but I mean, it would mostly be probably Goretzka instead with Pavlovic, and I don't feel too comfortable with that, even though he has been having a comeback season low-key. With Paulinho being out, I think that it's obviously even more crucial that Kimmich has a great season with us, because Paulinho was supposed to be a really big answer for us, and he does look a little clunky on the ball, so I'm not a big fan of Paulinho, but you know, we haven't seen him play much. But Kimmich, I'm gonna say you're having a solid season. I'm gonna stick him right in the middle at good. So yeah, didn't get to all the Bayern players, but those are the players that I think the most impactful, most controversial this season, and that's the tier list, at least part 1. If you guys want a part 2 to the tier list, leave it in the comments below. But make sure to subscribe for more Bayern content, football content daily. And yeah, hopefully Pat's back for the next one, back from his ACL tear, and we'll see you in the next one with him. Peace.